Okay, good day everyone. My name is Waldo Victor from Choice Consults, and today in our tutorial we're going to be talking about, we missed something on the previous tutorial I did, which was on graphic override. So on graphic override, I think without wasting much of our time today, I would like to rush into this tutorial to know how far I can cover, because we have about 3 different topics to discuss today. One is on graphic override, the other one is on how to, work properly on your elevation without pushing it down to worksheets. And the third one is on doors and window schedule, how to arrange your doors and window schedule to, the way it ought to look. Okay, so let me start with graphic override. Now, graphic override has so many functions. I don't really know how to explain it, but basic function of graphic override, like the word and the way it sounds, graphic override, it explains, like it shows you different colors that represent, or different colors that represent different functions in your building. Like the major essence of Archicad placing this graphic override, I think it was basically for, representing uh, 3D colors, like when it comes to building fire resistance, like you have the walls that are 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour fire resistance. When it comes to moisture intake on your walls, you have walls that, that can absorb moisture, some that can resist moisture. So, but basically for the essence of this tutorial, I will try and explain how I use graphic override to enhance my model. So like what you're seeing on this wall, the black wall, is a total effect of graphic override. Now jumping down to it, now you see I have graphic overrides for almost, I've created a graphic override for different sections of my drawing. Now let me just, no override, you will see how it looks. This is the normal Archicad hashing. Everybody knows how Archicad hashing is. This is the normal Archicad hashing. Now for me to present this drawing in a proper way where it can go for approval, even the engineers on site can understand it very well, even with all these lines, everything, almost being similar, I had to differentiate my walls. I used graphic override to do that. And with graphic override, you see, it created my walls to be black in total, everything to be black. Now graphic override, I can change this to be red, I can change it to be green, I can change it to any color I so wish it to be. Now for my structure, you will still see how the graphic overrides on my structure. You see it's giving me dotted lines on my structure. That's the same one you just saw a few minutes ago. It's now giving me a dotted line on the structure. Now for my, let's say, electrical drawing, you see it comes back to this pattern. Now I think I still change it to something else on mechanical drawing. Okay, it didn't come back. Okay, now the essence of working with graphic override. Okay, you see, now this is another aspect of graphic override that I did. Now it changed without the hashings, is there. Normally there are ways we can still, achieve this without using graphic override, but it's going to be stressful. That's by using fill. You use fill on your own native way. Like I want to achieve the black spots, I can use fill to, achieve those things, but we all know that it's going to be stressful. It's quite easier if you do it the way on graphic override. So how to basically set your graphic override is a way of, I don't know how to put it, but for you to place your graphic override, you need to understand the graphic override itself. Let me see if I can use quick job that I just did for someone, a friend of mine. Let me see if I can use this job to explain this graphic override. Okay. Let me use this job to explain what I mean by that. Now you're seeing all these walls to be this way, and these walls are already in structural BI. Now let's assume I want to make these walls to be black. Only these walls, I want to override the colors of these walls. And the easy way I do my own, I follow the rules on graphic override. Like this is the native Archicad, what Archicad brings for you when you open your Archicad without editing anything. This is what Archicad creates for your own graphic override, native way, the default settings for graphic override in Archicad. And if I change it to this way, you see it already has the hashing. Now if I come back to, let's say I want to create my own override. For you to create a new override, click on new. I say choice wall. I've created a new override. Now I want to assign this override, this rule that I've created now. You need to add components to it. You need to give it a rule. That's in Archicad they call it rules. You get? At this point it's based on rule, like what you're seeing, rules applied by innovation filter. I want to add a rule what I want this particular Troy walls to do. Now I come here, I want it to affect my walls, and you see walls we have is cut. Now for you to view a plan, you know your plan is already on cut. So I say all cut fields solid, all cut fields solid black. These are existing rules in graphic override. Now you see it still has different rules for it. Now I can place fire rating 1 to 5 hours, fire rating 2 hours, fire rating 1 hour or less than, fire rating 3 hours, depending on what I want the word to represent. Now I'm using this override for graphical representation based on documentation. I'm not using it for file rating. So let me say I'm trying to change my walls to black. I will say all cut fields solid black. Now once you have done this and edit, you will see it's showing all cut fields solid black, including my section, my elevation view map points, including every other line in this override. Now what I needed it to show was just my walls. Remember? Now I have to come back to this graphic override and edit the rule that I have placed. Now coming back to this override, I can say I come back to editing rules, and you see what it showed here. All cut fields solid black. Now I can come back here. I just want only my walls to be solid black. I can say okay, is come down here, I pick wall and I click OK. Let me see what it does. Are you seeing? It has now assigned solid black to only my walls. The graphic override has now assigned solid black to just my walls. Now it has already, it's from these rules now, I've narrowed it down to what I want it to just apply the solid black to it. So let's say I want this solid black to just be a different color. You can come here and you can change it to whatever color that you feel like, or I say field, let's say, I pick a different color and I click OK. You see, it changes that color to red. Now at this point I can actually assign any particular color to my wall. I can assign any kind of color to this wall. since it's still on this solid black. Now if you come down to elevation, same thing, same rule applies in your graphic on your elevation. And let's say I come down to the elevation of this model now, and I implement the graphic override to the model. Let it open. I say okay, I implement the graphic model to the override to the model. And let me come back to this point and click it again. Choice one. It may not really affect the walls, it may affect it depending on what I've set. But since if you check I didn't affect the wall, I can come down to this place again. Now you see I didn't on the surface, the representation I want on the surface, that's the 3D. Now I click on surface. I want it to be red. I want the wall to be red. I click on red and I'll assign the wall. Now you see it will change everything that is solid wall in this drawing to be red. Now graphic override has a bigger function than what I've just shown you. Now the major function of graphic override is for rating. The major function I think for graphic override is for rating, in the sense that when I say rating, I mean when you come to your wall, let's just say I place this, I come back to graphic override and I say no override, everything comes to normal. Now let me pick some walls on this drawing and change their rating. I pick this particular wall and I come down to this place. Classification. Now when you see there is fire rating in classification, let me see, I have fire rating, I place it at 20, this one I place it at 3 hours, and I click OK. And I come to this other wall, I place it at 2 hours. I believe by default Archicad has its own graphic override for all the fire ratings in the building. Now this other wall I place it at, these other two walls and this wall I place them at, okay, let me just place this particular wall, place this one at 1 hour. I don't think it will affect it. Then I come down to the graphic override and I want to have used a fire rating to differentiate my walls depending on the kind of wall you are using. It's for advanced documentation. It's for when you're talking about fire ratings and all the ratings, it's actually for advanced documentation. Now if you use graphic override, you will see they have different representation on the plan. You see them having different representation. The white one shows walls that are below 1 hour fire rating. And this one is showing walls that are above 1 hour, 3 hours fire rating. And this other wall, I think, is also showing walls that are above such rating. And if I come back to my 3D and I assign the graphic override to it, like the fire rating, the fire plan override, you will see it will also come with a different render colors, and the walls will come on a different render colors. Now you see, based on the classification of the fire rating. Now this is the major aspect of graphic override. Now in this aspect, you can use this graphic override to rate a lot of things, not just your fire. If you should go back here, you see you can use it to rate both fire zoning. Okay, let me open this side. You can use graphic override to rate not just your fire, structural loading, structural load bearings, non-load bearings, undefined. All these things you can actually use them. Transparent, you can use them to majorly rate your walls check your moisture intake of your walls and all the rest, depending on the information you're trying to pass through. But when it comes to documentation, I think I use graphic override basically for representation on my 2Ds. Now, if you should check out on what I have here, this is a different graphic override I have for mechanical drawings. Now, I use this for mechanical drawings so it won't conflict. If I open up the mechanical drawing, you see both the lines and everything are on a simple format. So it won't really conflict while I'm doing some documentation with it. Now, this is the essence of graphic override. Now, graphic override still goes a long way when it comes to the rules. But I believe when you play with the rules, you get to understand how it works. Let's say back to Troy, I want to assign, if I have some drawings on my layer, you can still use your graphic override. Let's say you've created a different settings for your walls and you want to place them on layers. You want to differentiate them or assign a particular function to a certain layer in your drawing. You want to assign a particular function, a particular color scheme to a certain layer or a certain set of drawings that you've done in Archicad, and you've placed them on layers. You just want to assign this particular function to those layers. You just come here, you click on layer, you click add. Now Archicad asks you if you really want to assign this function, this solid black, to the layer that you're going to choose, or you want to separate the solid black from the layer, the function of this thing, you don't want it to affect the layer that you're going to choose. Now if you choose is, that means this function, the solid black, will affect whatever that you have here. If you choose is not, it means this solid black or this solid red now will not affect that layer or whatever layer that you've chosen. Now when you click on edit layers, you see it still brings us back to layer, which I talked about at the second video I did. Now it still brings us back to layer, which you can select any particular function, any layer that you really want to assign a solid black or a graphic override to. So I think this can help you work on your graphic override. You can tweak around it. You can add whatever elements, whatever geographical element, geometrics. If you have your takeoff, your quantity takeoff briefings, that's your editing, your database. If you have them and you want to assign a particular row to them, you can do that as well. If you want to assign to your elevations, depending on what you're working on, you can still do that as well. But for me, I think my graphic override, I basically use it on 2Ds to separate the representation of my job, to showcase them, to represent them in a proper way. Since I'm working on a 2D documentation, I think you will have to stick on the 2D representation of graphic override. Like you see this one, the hashings, all I did was I created a graphic override for structural drawings upper floor, and I came down here and I edited it. I used cut off feels transparent. Now when you clicked on it, I had to change the lines, hidden lines, I had to change it to dotted lines. I had to change it to all these hidden, or where is that line? I had to change it to any of these dotted lines, so that it will be assigned to that particular one. Then when I did that, I came down to this place. It's assigned, you see, it's assigned to all types. Now when I mean all type, it means everything that comes down within this is assigned to all type. Now I never wanted it to affect my column fills. I don't want it to affect my structural grid. I don't want it to affect my dimension lines. I don't want it to affect my tank slabs. I don't want it to affect every other thing that you've seen here. Now all these things I had to click is not affected. Now clicking it on is not means that the graphic override won't have effects on all these things that are assigned here. So that's the basic function of graphic override. Okay, so let's come back to 3D, no, elevation. Let's talk about the elevation. I believe the elevation is also another a major aspect where people, that forces people to just drag their drawing to work into worksheets, so you can enable them do a proper editing, proper documentation on your drawing. And let's, like what I told you earlier on the previous video. If you've not watched that previous video, the second video before this one, I suggest you go and watch it. You understand what we explained on layer. I've created a layer for sections and elevations. Now you know what I talked about on the layers. In the aspect of section and elevation, that means I've all my necessary documents that I want to show on my elevation, they are already here. All I need to do is I open the front elevation or any of the elevations, and you see my elevation is already intact. So basically, if I want to edit, I say okay, I want to bring in my fill, to create a base for my drawing. I want to bring in my fill to create a base for my drawing, and it's as simple as ABCD. You can as well draw on this. You can as well create anything that you want to create on this. Like I want to place on this window, I want to place the what do you call it, the window labelings on it. I can just come here, I pick my windows, you know, pick my doors and window. Let me see the property. Is that it? Come down and click on it. Sorry, one thing. But all I'm trying to explain here is on your, if you're able to understand the layer from what we've explained, working on your elevation will not really be much of a problem to you, because once you've actually separated the things you want to show on your 3D from the things you want to show on your ground floor plan and the things you want to show on your elevation, you will see that once you've opened your elevation, it wouldn't really be much of a problem for you to work on. And once you are done, all you need to do, if you want to extract your file, you will still come back to this area. Like on my sheet here, I have my elevations. That's my elevation with all the elevation heights, all the elevation levels, and every other thing. You come there, you extract your file down to that elevation sheet with no much problems once you've been able to understand this on the elevation aspect. Now, if you want to make much like a serious editing on your elevation, like you still feel like you want to edit your elevation with lines, you want to stretch, okay, let me bring it down to you. But what I'm trying to explain is at this elevation point, if you should check out, everything you're seeing here is basically what I placed. My write-offs, my everything is just as if you're also working on your 2D window. There is no difference. Once you've edited, remove the things, you filtered your design with your layer, you will see that the major things that you really need to remove from your elevation wouldn't be there again in your elevation. All you need to do is just go ahead and label what you want to label, put your elevation heights. Of course, we know that Archicad already creates this thing for us, and I wouldn't be going back to explain. I don't think we have much time. I would have tried to explain the settings of all these, but I believe we all know how to set and go through the arrangement of, of these settings here, just to get a proper elevation view. But if you feel like you still want to edit your elevation, you want to convert it to a proper line, let me use the section that I actually converted to a proper line, you see that there is a big difference from this elevation and this section. Now, this section is no longer a beam drawing. This section is a complete line, like a single line that I can edit. I can actually remove anything here. You see, you can click on it, but it's still a document I generated from my elevation, from my section view. But on the section view now, I can properly do some editing. I can remove things that I don't want them to be there. Especially when it comes to Archicad, we know that we often have issues on the roof aspect of Archicad. It tends to show you some other things that are behind your roof. I sometimes it shows lines that you wouldn't want to represent properly in your drawing. If they are there, it will be a very big mistake. It will be more like very difficult for anybody to understand what you're trying to show. So while I was working, I had to convert this. For you to do such work in Archicad, you can just simply come down here, click on elevation, section setting or elevation setting, come down to your elevation. Now Archicad has three settings for us. Status. Now if you leave your status on auto rebuild, that's when once you go back to floor plan, you're coming to elevation, it converts everything that you've done, like it reviews your drawing. Now when you click on manual rebuild model, which I often work with, this is where like manual rebuild drawing is just like the front elevation that I showed you now. Even if I do any editing on it, I stretch the wall, it wouldn't reboot until I've clicked on I've rebuilt it manually. Now, but for you to work, like you want to convert your entire drawing to a 2D, just like what you're seeing here. You see everything is single on its own, just like a 2D drawing. For you to convert your entire 2D or your elevation to a 2D, all you need to do is you come down to this place and you click on drawing. Once you click on drawing, it converts everything that you have on your elevation to a normal plane lines, to a single poly or single plane lines. Now why I can't click back to manual rebuild is if I click on manual rebuild, all the fields, all the lines that I've created here will be eliminated. That's why I can't go back to making it to manual rebuild to explain what I'm showing. Once I click on manual rebuild, all the lines that I'm showing here will be they will just wipe off. And if I come back to drawing to I will have to start afresh. But let's say I'm working on the elevation. Let's say I'm working on the elevation. Let's take this elevation for instance. Let's say I'm working on the elevation, and if you should check out, this elevation is a complete wall. It's a complete beam drawing. Like it has information related to my wall, to my floor plan, and every other thing, compared to the section that I just converted to drawing. Now, assuming I'm working on this drawing and I want to convert it to a complete single polylines, to a complete, polyline to or normal line to, all I need to do is I come down to this point. I come to status. Now I often work, like I've told you, I often work with manual rebuild model. I click on drawing. Once I click on drawing, all it does is it converts all these things you're seeing here to single polylines like this, where you can edit, can remove anything, you know. You can decide to just, you're free to walk around, to do your wish on the elevation of the section view with nobody, with nothing hindering you. You can just flow with your own concepts. So that's the beauty of working with Archicad on the elevation aspect and the section aspect. I believe that's actually the easiest way I do my editing on. Anytime I feel like I want to convert every other drawing to working drawing, or instead of taking them to worksheets, I just do everything in Archicad. Okay, now back to, let me see, let's now relate to the schedules. Okay, on the schedule aspects, doors and window schedule, I don't think I actually didn't work much on the doors and window schedule in the aspect of Archicad. All I did in this particular drawing was to extract the doors and window schedule to another sheet and then edit it. I did it for some reasons so that I can explain what I want to do with this. Okay, in doors and window schedule, basically when you open your doors and window schedule, sometimes depending on what you've worked with, the kind of doors you've worked with, you will be seeing stuffs like this. Sometimes you might even be seeing stuffs like empty lines. Let me see if I can open this. You're seeing things like just, you'll be seeing your color, your open spaces like this. These are, when we've created some beams with a door to or window to, and you created an empty space or an empty door, all of them comes down to record on your doors and window schedule. And there is a way to eliminate these things. First of all, if you're working on your doors and window schedule, you have to, for me, you have to set them in a proper, by prioritizing them. Set the things that you want to show. Like, let me show a particular door and window schedule I totally cleaned up on. And this is a work I did sometime last year. I'm still using it as a reference for now. And this is my door and window schedule. You see how well it is arranged. It's all model descriptions, the write-up and all the rest. This is also, let me see if I can open the window schedule for it. This is the door schedule. I believe the window schedule also is also on the same scale. You see it's quite cleaned up with all the model description. It's my own variety of, pen weight, my variety of fonts, my own variety of window settings and all the rest. Archicad has made provision for you to edit your door, your window to your own choice. And all you need to do is you come to scheme settings. You choose the basic things that you want to show on your doors and window schedule. Like you choose the basic things that you want to represent on the doors and window schedule. In these doors and window schedule, you can add anything from here. You can add anything that you feel like you want to add. Archicad has lots of information because they believe in anybody can be working on any particular drawing, and it needs your information to be complete. Now, on a default Archicad, this is how it comes. On a default Archicad drawing, like when you're working on a new project, this is how your doors and window schedule comes. Now let me see this and walk to. Okay, so I think we're going to work with this. Now on a default Archicad, this is basically how your doors and window schedule will likely come. Now first of all, what I often do is I I remove the things I don't want to be shown on my doors and window schedule. I try to clean it up. First of all, I come to scheme settings. Now I don't want to show security rating, I remove it. I don't want to show handicap accessible, I remove it. I don't want to show fire exits, I remove it. I don't want to show sound transmission class, I remove it. I don't want to show terminal transmit transmittance, I remove it. I don't want to show fire resistance rating, I remove it. And definitely I want to show view from side opposite to opening side. I want to show that. Definitely I want to show my 2D plan preview. Probably I don't want to show my window head height. We all know what head height and sill height. That's the base and the upper height of the window. I don't want to show it. I don't want to show my window sill height. I don't want to show orientation. Now these orientations sometimes get people confusing. Let me open it. Now, Archicad has a way when it comes to orientation. You'll be seeing these two. Let me see if it has. Okay, this orientation. Now when it comes to orientation, what is showing here is that this door is located at the left side of your building. This door is located at the right side of the building. That's what Archicad often uses based on orientation. Now you will be seeing this door located at the left, this one located at the right. For me, that's the simplest explanation for orientation on scheme settings. Now I don't want to show my orientation, I remove it. I don't want to show related zone number. Probably, let me see. Yeah. Okay, I thought I've removed the orientation. Let me remove orientation. Remove. So what did I remove there? Okay. I don't want to show my zone number, it's not really necessary for me. I don't want to show opening door elements, and it's not really necessary for me. Now, I don't want to show zone number, I don't want to show opening door elements. And these are the basic things I want to show in my Archicad, like the elements, element ID, the width and height size, the 2D symbol, and the view from side opposite to opening side. Okay, now with this I think I've filtered what I want to show on my design. Now the next thing you have to work on is unlabeling your doors. That's the basic thing you now have to work on, unlabeling your doors. Now I removed something which I'm supposed to show here, that's quantity. I definitely want to show my door quantity. So I come down to this place. I think quantity should be uh, okay, that's quantity. I definitely want to show quantity, and I want it to be at this height. I want it to be at this layer. Now I click OK. You're seeing quantity at that point. Okay, so now it's showing me quantity. Then the next thing you need to work on is on your doors and window labeling. And your doors and window labeling determines how Archicad quantifies the number of doors that you have. Like we have D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, and so many other. Like on this drawing, I have, you see, this is the window. Let me use the door as a reference here. I can open the door. Okay, let me just connotation lists and open the door schedule. And you're seeing D1. Wow, I've deleted my D2. Okay, we are seeing D1, D2. D2 was supposed to be here. D3, D4, D5, and D6. And these are the door numberings that I have on my drawing. If I open the Archicad floor, you see it still goes with the same numberings now. And you're seeing D2 here. You're seeing the rest of the D3, D3, D4, and so on and so forth. So what Archicad does is it numbers your drawing, your wall, doors and windows should be based on what you actually place there. You've identified them. And for you to identify your wall, your doors, you come down here, you highlight your doors. Like if it's D1, you want to name them. If it's D2, you come down on classification and properties. Classification and properties, you click on ID and categories. On ID and categories, you see your ID, you name them whatever you want to name it. If it's D2, if it's D3, if it's D4, even if you have 100 doors and you want to name them D4, you can highlight those 100 doors and name them D4. Even if they are single doors and on separate locations, you want to name them D4, you can highlight them or you can pick them one by one and you name them D4. Once you've done that and you come down to your doors schedule, Archicad tends to calculate all the doors that you've numbered D4 and give you their total number. And all the doors that are on D4, Archicad gives you their total number. All the numbers that are on D3, Archicad gives you their total number. Let's take for instance on this project that we're using. On this project that we're using, we now show this one. Okay. On this project that we're using, am I right? Yeah. Okay, let's take for instance we open it. You're seeing D1, D2, D2, D2. And this D2, D2, D2 is showing is because I added another scheme to it. Now it's showing me D2 here, D3 here for ground floor, and also a D3 here for upper floor. Are you seeing the difference now? Now it's based on what I added here. I added home story. Now on the home story means it's going to represent the different Ds or the different walls on the home story based on the story levels. Assuming I remove this home story, you see all the D3s will come down to be a single quantity. Now let me remove it. You understand what I mean? You see, all the D3s comes down to 25. That's the quantity of all my D3s. Now 25 includes both the ground floors, the upper floor doors that have labeled D3. Now the beauty of Archicad in your doors and window schedule, let's assume I want to identify these doors that have labeled D3 in my floor plan. All I need to do is I click on floor plan. It highlights all the doors on your D3. Like you'll be seeing all the doors that have been labeled D3. You will see their location, you will see everything. Let me go back. Let's assume you still want to locate all these doors that you've labeled D3 on your 3D. You click on 3D and it can pushes you back to onto the 3D window to show you all the doors that you've labeled on D3. Okay, while you wait for it to open, I will still jump back to this one. Okay, now let's assume I still have this door, and I want to change the label from here. You can basically do that. Let's say D1, D1. Now, whatever door that is being here that is under this, whatever door that is under this, like the quantity is 4, any door that is under these 4 quantities will be changed to D2. Now, if I open it on 2B, it will still show you those doors that are on D2. These are the door, but oh, I've used my model view. I think I skipped this model view. Okay, on our next tutorial, I will try and talk about model view. I use my model view to eliminate the door representation that is showing on it. So this is basically how Archicad works. Okay, we are back. Now you're seeing all the walls that has been labeled D2 or D3. They are all highlighted in Archicad. You'll be seeing them as my interior doors. Let's assume I want to change their fire rating from. The beauty of this is once you assign a particular rating or a particular instruction to them, I want to say structural function, that's actually the essence of Archicad. I want to say non-load bearing elements. I want to say position, I want all the doors they are interiors. Okay, renovation, I say probably to be demolished or new. That's the beauty of Archicad and those elements. Let's say fire rating, I want to assign them, I want to make them, let's say 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes. Now with these highlights, you want all the doors, like if you have these what I'm talking about now is I'm pushing on towards beam documentation, adding metadata to your drawings, adding the necessary metadata to your documents. But these are the beauty of the doors and window schedule. Now, whatever I've assigned to that point, to that documentation now, will be assigned to all the doors. Let's assume I change these doors to being 1, 2, or wherever I intend to change them to be. You will see all the doors will have the same representation. Okay. Okay. So now back to what we're saying. Now sometimes you happen to create a door, or you happen to create a door like what you're seeing here. I have D1, D2, D2, and you're being confused. Where is this one showing up again? What's happening? You can come here and locate those doors in your drawing. You can just click here, locate where they are, know what to do about them. These are the D2s, but they are not representing because these particular doors are not really native Archicad documents. These are my personal add-ons that I use. If I tend to show them on 3D, you see it's a different kind of door. Now I want to show, let's say I want to show them on a 3D view. You'll be seeing these are some set of different kind of Archicad. Yeah, this is the door I used. Uh, for me, you see, these doors are basically native. They are not really native Archicad doors. They are, foreign objects. They are add-on doors. They are more like external materials that I use to enhance my 3D while working. But it's already here, and I want to show that I want to represent them on Archicad. Sometimes what I often do is I come to the elevation. The long process is I come to the elevation, I select on these doors, like since I know it's on the front elevation, it's not even representing properly. Okay, I think I will explain them verbally. What I do sometimes when I get this kind of references, I come to the elevation, I select on the door that I've seen, then I convert them to 2D documents, or I come back to that. Okay, let's say I already have this door, and let me open these doors like what we saw on the 3D initially. I already have these doors which are foreign objects, and I want to show them on the 2D documentation. Now, if you check out, these doors are basically these my foreign doors. I wouldn't call them foreign objects, add-on doors. What I do is I come down here, I just create my single line, pick that particular door that I want to represent, you know, place it on the view, come down to view the door in my elevation to set, open it up, and uh, on viewing this door, I can decide if I want to copy the presentation of the door. If I feel like I like it the way it is, I can just decide to convert everything to 2D. Now if I convert it to 2D, you see I can easily highlight this door or whatever I want to. I feel like highlighting, but I don't like the representation of the door this way. So basically, I'll have to convert just the door to something that looks far more better to what I want. Now, in that case, I'll have to just pick the door, convert it to complex to morph, and it's going to show me everything that is in respect to that door. And this is the door I want. This is the representation that it's having. I copy this 2D. Then once I copy it, I come back to my door schedule. Now on my door schedule, I come to the annotation. I paste that 2D representation that I'm seeing. Paste it on my annotation. If the size is looking, too small for me, I just bring up the scale depending on what I'm working on. I just decide to bring it up. Then close. Once you close, it asks you switch to another window, ends editing, discard changes, save changes. Now click on save changes. Immediately I click on save changes, you see that my door representation comes up. Voila, I've created the door 2D representation for it. I still come back to this point, then delete these other one that I've created. I delete all of them. I have a representation of the 2D door, of the foreign 2D door on my design. If I feel like the scale is too much for compare relationship to these other ones, I can still come to annotation and rescale the door to the choice, or to my choice rather. Just rescale it to what I want it to be and still go back. Oh, okay, but at least you understand what I was trying to explain in this drawing. And if I want to custom annotation preview cells will be lost. Okay. So let's say I still have this same thing on this other door. This is another custom door I think I used, just equivalent to the other ones. And this door was supposed to, okay, depending, this door, it has a different size. This is 1180, right? These ones are 12 and all the rest. Probably I want to change this door size to be in respect to this one, since they are all the same thing. And the difference why this door had to change to this size is because it's in a different height. I want to change the height, the size and all the rest. Come down to where it is. Okay, no. Come down to where it is, and change it to 1 2, so it still merges to same to the rest of the door sizes, and you see everything jumps back. That's the beauty of working with Archicad doors and windows schedule. um let's assume I want to make some write-up on this. Okay, let me see if I can edit all the doors at once, and then we can jump to the next thing we have on the doors and window schedule. Let me see. This is a door I use for my entrance to the staircase. I can still edit this one, but I wouldn't wanna waste more time and editing this door to get what I want. So I will skip it to the other topic. Now let's say you're done with your door settings at this point, but you want to add annotations like text, then you want to fill in these things like what I have here, model description and all the rest. You still come back to that your drawing, go to scheme settings, come to add field, general, come to custom text, and you click one. Now I have, you see, I have space to make my write-up. Now you feel like you don't have enough space to do what you want to do in your design in your Archicad. Let's say you come down, you change the courses like this point, and you expand them. Let's say I want to write something here. Once you click on it, you make your writings. Yes, instead of doing the long writing, let me just pick this one, copy, and then come down to this one and paste. And you see, all I did was just to copy from a previous job that I already have, and I paste it on this current one. Now, so it's easy for you to work on your Archicad. It's information now. So probably I've done some trying to see if I can copy this file, but they seem to be on a lock mode, which I'll have to unlock them. Many things. Elements locked. Is locked. So okay. I think okay, let me not really waste much of my time here. Probably later on I will come and resolve this. But let's say I want to do some writings on this door, like at this aspect, like I've done with the worksheet. Let me see that worksheet. I know I did the doors on the sheet. Okay, let's say I did this one, custom settings. Let's say I want to write this same thing you're seeing here on this door, on that particular the main Archicad settings for door. I want to bring up these write-ups to it. All I do is I copy, I come back to that door settings at this point, and I paste. Now if you notice something, it didn't fit in. Now why the write-up didn't fit in is because there is no more space. I can either drag this down to make it fit in, or I can as well expand it this way to make it fit in. or you can just come up to the right door. Why is this thing? Okay. Okay. I mean, okay. Let's see what I can. Skipping what I don't want it to skip. Oh, okay. Six. Well, I think I'll have to pull down edit this window settings because iCard, I think I'm having some things. What's it called? And time of top 3. Okay, now you see what the write-up that I'm trying to create. Well, the reason was because there wasn't really enough space for this write-up to fit in. That was why it couldn't come in there. But now I think I've rectified it. Now when you bring a write-up in Archicad in doors and window schedule, if you check out, some are skipping because of the columns and rows, they can't fit in. And let's say I use the same write-up for almost all the doors. Now you have to set it up. And on setting your rows for your drawing, you come down to this area. You're setting the column and drag it down to fit. Same thing happens to this one. You can basically adjust your rows and your columns to fit whatever you're dealing with, so as to enable you work freely. Let's say I adjust all these rows, and I can create space that you can adjust them to fit in anything that you're working on. and you see all the write-offs have been properly placed. Now if I come down here and I click on this, you see it will arrange itself the way it ought to be. Or I come down here and I want to change the font size to, let's say, 3 millimeters. It will come down, everything will come down to 3 millimeters. And you want to change the font colors to black, you change to black. You can basically twerk around your model, your 2D, your door shadows and window shadow. Come down here, let me bring it down to the way. Okay, or I write, I remove the E and leave it at door shadow. I want the door shadow alone, the header to capture only by 5 or 7. Let's say I leave it to 7. Mm, okay, see, door, door shadow. Yeah. Then I want to leave it at, let's say 7 millimeters. You want to change the font from what it is. I often use stylus BT. You want to change it to stylus BT. You see, it assigns the same thing. Now, whatever I'm doing here, it's also, if you check out, it's also affecting these other rows. So if I bring it back to 5, you see everything comes back to how it ought to be. I bring it back to, let's say, headers or header line 7, 6. It's only affects this one. Then headers 1, 2, 3. Okay, these are the basic card. I think the easiest way you can actually copy, paste, you know. Then another thing again in doors shadow is that doors and whatever you do here is also applicable to your window shadow. Another thing again in this door shadow and windows shadow is that you can actually dimension your doors. Like you want to dimension this door, click on annotation, come here, you click your dimension too, click on the dimension, click OK, 2 once you are done with the dimensioning of your tool, click and it shows you switching to another Windows ends editing. Discard change or save. You click on save changes. Once you click on save changes, it will update and bring up the dimension that you've done and you're done. Same thing is applicable to all the doors that you have. You can, if you want to dimension the side views, you want to dimension the floor plan views, just anything that you feel like you want to edit on your doors and window shadow is left for you to do so. So with this, I believe you can, if you work properly, if you go down and check around your doors and window shadow or your graphic override and your elevation, with the tutorial, I believe you can be able to achieve far more better than what you've been achieving on your documentation drawing. So we'll be looking up to the next tutorial which will be coming up soon. Thank you very much.